So this is part 2 of all of London explained. I'm literally going to open up the map and I'm going area by area, street by street to tell you what I, as someone who grew up here, knows about the area. And we'll talk about school districts and how much the houses cost and all the little nitty-gritty things that you'd only know from growing up here in this video. It is long, and it is a bit boring if you're not actually looking to move here, but it's also very helpful. So last video, I did all north of the river. This video, we're starting in Riverbend, going down to Byron. We're going to go Lambeth and Talbot and over in Botswick and Westmount and Old South as well, where there's houses that were built in the 1800s that are unbelievably beautiful. And kind of affordable compared to a lot of houses in Ontario these days. So we're going to do all of that. Let's go. All right, so we're going to start here with Riverbend. All right, so this is a very interesting area on the western edge of London. I actually live in this area, so I've got a lot to say here. There are 2 major flaws to this area, and there's also a lot of good things. So we're going to talk about all the walking trails through Warbler Woods and everywhere else. We're going to talk about Riverbend Golf Community up here. We're going to talk about West 5, which is this like environmentally friendly net zero community, and they have a whole ton of events and stuff all year long. Really interesting area. So I'll start here. So this is by far the most expensive street in the area, I would say. If you go south of Oxford Road and you go down Upper West Avenue, this backs on to this forest. Now, throughout this forest, you've got walking, like it's kind of showing you some of the trails here, but that's not really all of them. It kind of goes everywhere. You can go out into the Chestnut area, which we'll talk about later, and over here in Byron, you can go down to Byron Baseline. It all connects. And it's very up and down, like it's very hilly in that area. So it's good for exercise. Like if you like running, you want to run some hills, trail running, there you go. Or just going for a walk, you get some up and down, some exercise, you'll be huffing and puffing in there. It's not Banff, no, but you know, there's more hills than I've seen anywhere else in London, I think. Let's drop a pin here on Upper West. So these are big homes. 3,500 square feet above grade is like the standard here. Like most of them are going to be in that range. And typically, people were getting 2 million and just over 2 million if they're backing onto the woods. I don't think they're getting that now. People are trying to get that now, but it's the market's gone down a bit. I think you're probably, real talk, you're probably between 1.6 and 1.8 backing onto the woods right now. As a result, a lot of people just don't want to sell them. They're like, I'd rather live in it than take lower, especially since everything in this area is like under 5 years old. Like 7 years ago, this whole area didn't even exist, right? Pretty much. So, yeah, they're nice homes. On the other side of the street, some of them are just as big. Some of them are a bit smaller. They go a bit cheaper because they're not backing onto the woods, okay? However, if you look here, what is going on? They also have this like little park path in between. It's a paved path. There's benches here to sit on. There's some small trees that will grow to be big. And it's like a nice little park setting. So it's kind of like an intermediate in between. I'm not backing onto a big woods, but I do have something behind me that is not some other dude's backyard. You got a little space here, a little buffer room, if you will. As you can see, these trails connect here, they go back here, past these woods, they go down here, over here, they kind of go everywhere. And you can even go up other side of Oxford, all up through West 5 here and connect all the way, look, through Riverbend Park. You just keep going here. These all connect, and then you get up to Riverbend Golf Community and another wooded area. This is Kane's Woods, okay? So you follow these walking paths behind these homes. You go down here, and it continues along the river all the way, I think it goes around the golf course and then comes out here. So, I mean, you could go for a 20-kilometer hike if you really wanted to. Anyway, Trails Way. Now you're talking 2,500 square feet to maybe 3,000 at the most. And these ones are going to sell, like you're talking 1.2 million, like kind of in that range for a lot of these. So they're a bit cheaper than they are on the other street. It's a really nice street. Like I like these homes. I like the style of them. I like the way they look on the inside. I think they were built really good design. That's just me though. Maybe you like a different style of home. I know this area and London so incredibly well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm like a relocation expert. That's what I do, is I help people find the right street and the right home for them at the right price. I also know like the best bang for your buck in this city. Like if your budget's like, maybe it's not 1.2, maybe it's 500,000, and you're like, get me the most I can in that price range, or 6 or 7, whatever. That's my jam right there, okay? So, I mean, I'll put my phone number here over on the screen. Text me, call me. If you have any questions about London and you need some help purchasing a property, feel free to reach out, okay? I know Riverbend very well, but I also know like most of London extremely well. I grew up on the East End. I spent a lot of time in the North. I now live on the West. I know this area very well, okay? So, right, probably up there, there's 10 digits. You put them in your phone, magically connects you to me. It's wild. It's a miracle, all right? And then if you want cheaper than that, see this area here, they're still just building. So if you follow Upper West from the expensive part all the way down here, now you're getting stuff that's like 2,000 to 2,200 square feet here in Fountain Glass. And I've actually seen a couple sell for under $1 million from the builder when they were doing that without a finished basement. But I mean, a lot of these are gonna be around $1 million. And when they get to resale, if they have a basement and the market picks up a bit, like they'll be 1.1 or something like that. But these are definitely gonna be the smallest detached in the area. You can't even see it on the street view. Like there's nothing here, but there is. In real life, this is filled in. You know what I mean? There is a major, so I'll tell you right now, one of the flaws in this area, I'm gonna drop a pin right here. And can you see it? Yeah, so see this giant cell phone tower? This is like just one, it's not really a big deal, I don't think. However, I know that the houses that are backing directly onto this big forest with the cell phone tower back there do lag in value compared to the rest of the area. And it's funny because I don't know if anyone really cares. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where people are always afraid that it's going to affect their resale, so they steer away from buying the home that backs onto the giant cell phone tower, and then so they just end up selling a bit cheaper. Even though I don't know, would you care? You can comment below if you would. I mean, I don't think it'd really bother me. It's not directly in your backyard. Like it's 500 feet away in the middle of a cornfield. So yeah, it's right here. No, it's TVO. Didn't even know that. And this is the cornfield. This is where your house is. So you do have some distance, but it just looks big and imposing and right in your way, right? There's another reason, which I'll tell you about later, why you might be weary of moving to the area. But anyway, a couple things to tell you about. If you got kids, this will make parenting easier. There's a park right here, and there's going to be a school right here. So if you live in this area, your kids are going to walk to their elementary school by themselves, and you don't got to worry about it. And then, of course, the schoolyard's going to have basketball nets and all the stuff that kids often play at when they live near a school, even off school hours. And then this here is also a park that they've made that now has basketball nets right here, and it now has a big jungle gym right here as well. So that's right nearby. Okay? Now, the other thing in this area of Riverbend is townhomes. So these are all condos. So these were selling like $750 or higher at the peak. You can probably pick these up around $680 right now. I have some drone footage. I'll show you here. They're stacked like 3-story townhomes. So if you like stairs, these are for you. I like the look of them. They have like light hardwood floors and then like white granite countertops, and they have ensuite washrooms and big bedrooms. I don't know why townhomes always come with like good sized bedrooms, which is funny because like the same size of home from like the 80s will have tiny little bedrooms and tiny closets, but they built these with good sized bedrooms. So you have that bonus if you live in these. You're gonna have like a $200 a month condo fee. If you don't want the condo fee, there's these here. These ones are all freehold townhomes. I'm gonna drop a pin again, give you a little sneak peek here. So this is what they are. Now, let me tell you a problem with these townhomes, okay? I think they kind of look cool from the outside. I think they're really nice on the inside. They got the 1.5 car garage. However, you see this? This is your grass, and it's not a condo, which means there's no company coming to cut your grass for you. Now, a lot of people that buy these homes go, well, I don't want to spend $500 on a lawnmower for this little tiny piece of grass. So they just don't mow it. And in the summer, it looks ridiculous, okay? The other problem is if you did own a lawnmower, well, I guess you'd have to keep it in the garage, and then you could do it. But some people like to park in the garage, which means you have to, like if you live here or whatever, you gotta go in your backyard, get your lawnmower, walk all the way down to the next break, I guess right here. That's not that long. And then you have to wheel it around. I just think some people are lazy and they don't do it. And in the summer, it looks kind of silly. Also, look here, for street parking, that's not enough room to park a car right there and right there. So you can't park here without blocking a driveway. So if you have friends or neighbors come, they got to park around the corner or something, you know what I mean? So other than that, I mean, it's a good area, walking distance from a school, lots of parks. I don't have a problem with these townhomes. I think they're nice, but there's nowhere to park, and you just got to make sure you mow your lawn. Your neighbors might not do it though, FYI. Okay, let's talk West 5. So this is a very interesting area of London. This was built by Sifton Homes. It has condominiums and it has rentals that they've put here. And the idea of this was it's net zero. So this building here and this building here, if you look at this roof, this is all solar panels. And then if you drop a pin and you look at the side of the building, it's also, this one's got all solar panels on the side too. It was also built to be very walkable. So they've got at the bottom of all the condos, shops and stuff. So you got like a flower shop, you got the cupcake shop, you got, everyone loves right here. They got buttermilk. People in Toronto drive to London to get buttermilk chicken sandwiches. It's very good. Up here, I'm not a runner, okay? I don't like jogging. However, people, like, this is a big deal. Backroads Cafe, if you came to me with a business idea and you were like, hey Ryan, I want to create a coffee shop that is also a shoe store, I would be like, that is dumb. That's so random. It doesn't make any sense. However, that's what Backroads Cafe is, and they have blown up. Like, they are a big deal, okay? They have running events through the city. They have a running club that meets like weekly, and they run together through Riverbend. And they serve beer now, and they have coffee. It's actually a really nice little cafe. And then at the back of the store, it's a shoe store. And the guy who runs it, like, they're into running. So it's not like going to Sport Check and some teenager. Like, they can tell you exactly what shoe you need and all that stuff. So a lot of people like that. There's a gym in this plaza, and there's a pizza place at the back, and there's some health food stores around here. Like, this is an old photo, but there's a health salad bowl kind of place there. And then across the street, you got this actually really nice park. And in the summer, you'll see people just sitting out here and chilling. And over here, there's actually this pavilion. And so Sifton Properties, who owns the condos and the rentals back here, they will put on performances. So they'll have live music, and it's just free in the park under the pavilion, which is kind of cool. Everyone kind of comes out for that. I've seen them have like yoga nights here where they have like some yoga instructor and people are all around on their mats like doing their poses. You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool that they do take care of this park. It's really nice, and at night it looks pretty cool lit up too. So they have this West 5 thing, and then these little spires that look kind of ugly here, they actually light up in like red and blue at night, and it looks really nice. It's like the West 5 logo. Now, as you can see, they're not done building here. So the goal of West 5 is to be walkable. So they're gonna build more buildings here, more buildings here. They're gonna build something here, here. I've heard rumors of an ice rink but I couldn't find anything online, so maybe that's BS. I don't know. What else? I'm hoping a grocery store logically should be coming here, right? Because the goal for this is to be walkable. They're going to have mixed use, so residential and more stores down here. The only thing really missing, you got a gym, you got dentists, you got doctors, all walking distance from you here. The only thing you really need is a grocery store. So that should be coming sometime soon, I imagine. All this land will be built. So these are all, like you can see the solar panels here. These are all West 5 townhomes, kind of the same deal all around here. And then we get back here. So now you get, okay, this is the oldest part of Riverbend. You will get some houses that are like 15, 20 years old off of Canes Road in here. I like this area. So I've spoken before, right on Riverbend, these are like 2,300 square feet and they sell for like $950 right now, which is a pretty nice area. That's not a bad deal. And then if you keep going, you get down to a snowy, apparently, Riverbend Park. No summer photos, guys? Come on. I think I have a drone shot. It's actually a really big park. It's huge. They have a bunch of soccer fields through here. They've got play gyms. They got a splash pad in this area. I once had a water gun fight with a random child. We were out for a walk, me and my wife, and this kid, like with this mischievous grin, and his water gun came up, and he wanted to spray me, and so we just started playing. I was throwing water on him and stuff, and his parents were laughing. It's a nice, friendly, family-friendly area. It really is. The only other thing to really tell you about, actually, there's a few things still. Okay, so Riverbend Golf Community is right here. This is a land lease development. Do you know what that is? It means you can buy the right to sort of own the home, but you don't actually own the land that you're on. So you pay a land lease. So it's very similar, like in practical terms, it's the same thing as a condo, but they're detached homes. You don't own the land. The Riverbend Golf Community does. You will purchase like a share in this community and you will live in one of the homes and you will pay a land lease and the home is yours, but you don't actually own the land. But it's a gated community. You can't get in here without passing security and right here. And yeah, I mean, I imagine it's nice in there. I've literally never been in there though, and I'm not a golfer, so I don't know. But it's supposed to be a really nice golf course too, by the way. And then, of course, here you have Canes Woods. And I already spoke about how all these walking trails all connect. So in terms of nature and parks, Riverbend is a really good spot for you. They have some pretty nice homes in here. Even if I drop a pin on like Logan's Way and stuff like that, like these homes are probably more like 10 years old, 15 years old now, but they're really nice. This is a nice area. You know, a lot of homes now, the brand new ones, you will notice they're all like stucco. These are all brick. These are head to toe brick. You know, I like the way these look more than some of the super modern ones. Yeah, so here's the last problem with Riverbend. You ready? Oxford Road is one lane in each direction until you get to Sanatorium. So you see Sanatorium here. So if you live in Riverbend or you live in Kilworth in Komoka or you live here in, well, no, I guess not Byron, you'd be taking Commissioners. But if you live out in this direction, once you get past Sanatorium, you're all coming home from work at the same time. It goes down to one lane and it is congested. Like, it is not unheard of on a Friday in the summer that like right at Oxford Road, yeah, right at Commissioners, this will be backed up all the way up to Sanatorium, which is actually quite a long ways. To go from here all the way to Sanatorium, waiting for this light to change, is crazy. Now, it's only like that for like 2 hours, right? From like 4, not even 2 hours, from like 4 p.m. to like 5:30, 5:45, right? But everyone's coming home from work at the same time. So that does suck, okay? The traffic getting out there. There are plans to widen this, but who knows when they'll actually get to it, right? So that's Riverbend. If we keep going out further west, we get to Kilworth and Komoka, and you're going to take Oxford Road to get out there, and they are expanding this and to be an extra lane in each direction. Kilworth is interesting. You have Kilworth Flats Park here. You often see deer and stuff in there. It's right along the river. It's very nice. And then all around here, Blackburn and Crescent, Beecham, all this stuff around here, like this is luxury. These, they're older. They're like 1980s built homes. But if you look at them, this area feels like cottage country. I don't know if my drone footage is any good here. I think I recorded most of it in the winter or on like a foggy day or something. But I'm telling you, they have huge lots. You're talking 100 feet wide, maybe 100 deep. Some of them are like 200. And just tall trees, 100-year-old trees all around you. So it really does feel like cottage country, even though you're nowhere near cottage country. That's these streets here. If you go up into these streets over here, you get more modern builds, large 2-story homes. They also sell for a lot of money. A lot of them are 1.5 or more, 1.2, 1.3, kind of in that range, but they're very nice, okay? Now, one last thing I want to tell you about in the Komoka area is if you follow Edgewater Boulevard, they're still building this right now, and this is built to be extremely luxury, okay? If you're getting, there's a pattern here as I tell you about Kilworth, right? Luxury is a word I've been using a lot. These are giant homes. Like, it's not uncommon to get 4,000 or 5,000 square feet in total living space here on some of these. They're very big, and then in terms of just luxury, like they all, like I've been in a few of these, and I'm telling you, they just go above and beyond with everything. There's nothing cheap in these homes. They're very nice and they're very expensive. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, like, I don't know if you can tell from the street view photo how large this is. That's a large house. Okay, and they're building walking paths and stuff in here as well. There's little ponds and stuff. It's going to be a really nice area. Anyway, further out to Komoka, you kind of get a wide range of homes. You can get some newer stuff for like $1 million or 1.1, and then you get some older homes as well that are just like old ranches from the 60s. It's a nice area to live. I have no complaints about Komoka. The only thing I don't like is that your main road to get anywhere is going to be Oxford Road on the way in. But Komoka is a very nice town. It's incredibly safe. If you go all the way out to Komoka, sometimes you can get homes a little bit cheaper, although it's starting to rise because it's a very nice area. And they do have a small little community area where you got a food land and a few essentials like that. Yeah, it's a nice area. Oh, and how can I not mention Komoka Provincial Park? We got a provincial park right there, right by Komoka town. It's not huge. It's just got a few walking paths. What is this video? Yeah, I mean, that's a good example of what it is. Thank you, Google. It's got some walking paths and stuff. It's not huge, but it's nice. And I have seen some people fishing in the river, pulling out some fish. Okay. Let's go down. You know what? Before I go down to Byron, I should just finish out what I'm doing here. I'm going to talk about Mount Bridges. So Mount Bridges is like, I mean, look at this map. It's like 4 streets, all right? That's a bit of an exaggeration.
Okay, listen, I got some intel for you. There is an area of London that's pretty nice, but was in like a bad school district for the longest time. Well, as of 2 weeks ago, they recently changed the school districts, so this neighborhood is now in a good school district, and that might make the values go up over the next few years. So maybe now is the time to get into that area before the prices, jump up, right? So I'll tell you about that on the way. It's coming before Westmount, after Lambeth, kind of in there. My name's Ryan. If you need these kind of like details before you move to an area, if you're looking to move to London, but you're not from here and you don't know quite as much, you need a local's expertise, this is literally what I do for a living. I help people move to the London area, and I love doing it. I love helping people, okay? So my phone number is on the screen. It's up in this area right here. If I do this, you'll see it, okay? Or maybe over here. Maybe it's over here now. I don't know. Okay, write it down.
take a photo, take a screenshot. I don't know, do whatever you need to do. You can reach me at that number, and then we can figure out what your goals are and how I can help you achieve those goals, okay? But there's a couple really nice streets in here. So first of all, if you go out here where you see Radisson and Pond Haven, Lucas, Bond, Woods Edge, this is a really nice area of Mount Bridges. Like, I mean, look at this drone footage. This is that area. And I'm telling you, these houses are cheaper than what you would get them for in London. In fact, I've seen houses on like Radisson and Lucas sell for like a 1 million that are like similar to the ones you just saw in that video. Like that's a pretty good deal for Southwestern Ontario these days, okay? Whatever the price is in London, they're gonna be a bit cheaper here in Mount Bridges. Now, Mount Bridges has nothing. Like that Foodland we showed you up in Komoka, that's your grocery store. And you're gonna work and live, obviously, or you're gonna work and do all your grocery shopping and everything probably mostly in London. Wouldn't bother me much, right? Because if you're coming home from work, you can just swing by a grocery store then. I think Mount Bridges is a fantastic place to live. The other spot to consider is down here. These are newer streets like Bennett Crescent. Around here, they're a bit smaller. You get more ranches, you get a little bit smaller lots, I think. But these are a really good option as well. I mean, you can pick up houses in the mid to low 800s on that street. So they're going to be smaller than the ones over on Radisson and that, but they're really good. And the other positive thing, just to tell you about Mount Bridges, is just the size of the lots. A lot of homes, you can't really see it here, but a lot of homes will have 150 to 200 foot deep backyards, which you do not get anymore. They do not make them like that in London. Everything new is going to be tiny, 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 okay? So if you want a big yard, Mount Bridges is a really good option. All right, so now let's get back up here, okay? So this is Byron, and I've talked about Byron lots before, and that's because it really is one of the premium spots, I think, in London, and I like it that it has a wide price range. So when I say premium spots, often I'm talking about Sunningdale, where everything's like $1.3 million. But in Byron, you can get like a small ranch for like $625, $650, $700, you know what I mean? Like, or you can get a $3 million mansion in this area. Okay, so by the way, $3 million mansions, Old Oak Lane right here. Look how large these homes are. And this is the lot. Like, they are true mansions, okay? But anyway, let's go through Byron here, okay? So first off, this section between Commissioners and Baseline Road, this is, for the most part, where you're going to find those ranches, okay? Actually, the ranches will extend all the way into this little corner here, okay? Look at the footage here. Like, this is the type of house you're getting. I think it's perfect for a small family, for a young couple, or for a starter home. I think they're fantastic. Most of them will have an average size lot, 50 feet wide by maybe 110 deep, but there are some, I think on Reynolds and kind of around here, that are gonna have like 180 foot deep lots. That's awesome. I know I just said a minute ago you can't get that in London, but there are some exceptions. So yeah, typically, like if you find one of these that is completely out of date, you can probably get it for $550. I saw one sell the other day that was like they gutted it to the studs, remodeled it, absolutely beautiful. It sold for $700. So that's kind of the extremes. That's your range. And you're gonna find right now that $650 is probably the average price in that area, okay? The exception is right here. So you see off Grandview Avenue, you see all these little cul-de-sacs. So off Timber Drive, this is not little ranches. These are executive 2-stories that often will back onto the woods over here, off to Warbler Woods, and they're beautiful homes. They're absolutely gorgeous. They are pretty much all in need of updating right now because they're all reaching that age where they're 30 years old, and it's really hard, I find, for people to keep a home updated to the modern trends. You know what I mean? Decades roll on, and renovating a house is expensive. And so you just get to a point when, like, okay, a lot of it's out of date, but they're beautiful. So this one here is one that recently sold. And this kind of gives you an idea of what these houses look like, okay? It's pretty big. I don't know what the square footage was. What was it? Hold on.
All right, the listing says it was over 4,000 square feet above grade. I don't really believe it. I think they're probably including the basement in that. But anyway, it was a large home. It was beautiful. And as you can see here, like it's got this wonderful backyard with the woods right behind it, and it's very open, I mean, these are beautiful homes, and this sold in the 1.3 range, okay? There are some really large ones that will sell closer to $2 million. In fact, one sec here. So on the other side of the woods up here, you see Chestnut. These are like isolated streets. They're still part of Byron, but they're off Commissioner's Road. You get Butternut, you get Chestnut Hill. Like, it's not uncommon to see homes in here that are just absolutely giant that will sell for $2 million or more. It's hard for them to sell because there's not a lot of people with $2 million, so they kind of sit for a while. But they're absolutely huge. They're like 5,000 square feet, and they're gorgeous. I really, you know what? I'm gonna drop a pin. I'm gonna drop a pin. We gotta look at this street. It's one of my favorite streets in this section of London here. I'm going the wrong way. Look at that one. Look how big they are. They're beautiful. Okay? Some of them are a bit smaller. Oh, by the way, Christmas time, you see this guy's house right here? Yeah, that's where you got to swing by. This house is decked out. Like one of like I don't think there's a house in all of London that has more Christmas lights than this. And then the owner will actually dress up like Santa and his wife like Mrs. Claus, and they'll sit out front on a big candy cane throne and they'll talk to kids and they collect money for charity. It's actually really cool. So that's okay. If you just drive into this Chestnut area around Christmas time, you're gonna see that. It's fantastic. And he leaves the lights up till like February too. Like the guy loves it, all right? It's really cool. Anyway, it's an unbelievable spot in London, and I am jealous of those homes. I think they're beautiful homes, okay? So the school in this northern half is Byron Northview. I mean, all the schools are good in Byron. I don't remember the exact rating it most recently got. It may have been like 7.6, 7.8, something like that. I'll put it up on the screen. But wonderful school. When you go down here, you get Byron Somerset, and then there's another Byron school in this section over here. Byron Southwood is the school. That's right there. They're all amazing. They're all like 8 out of 10, okay? I think Somerset's the best in terms of rating, but they're all great, okay? Okay, so now let's just chat about this main little area right here between Bowler Road and Wickerson, okay? So first of all, if you follow Griffith Street all the way down, this is gonna be like, I think, if you're out for a drive, that is probably a good like representation of what Byron is like. It's the land of if you hate cookie cutter homes, there's no cookie cutters in this area, okay? It's not like these new subdivisions, like I started the first video with Fox Hollow where they all look the same. It's not like that. Like look at this home right here. So this sold around the 750 mark, okay? This house has 3 to 4 bedrooms. They had 2.5 bathrooms. So it was a nice house on the inside. They had done some renovations, okay? That's a typical side split. Now look at this house here. This sold for a similar price, completely different style. You might like it, you might hate it, but you know what? This had a 60-foot wide yard and then like 160 feet back. So that's awesome. And again, it sold around that 750 mark, kind of in that neighborhood. And then you can also get 2 stories like this, and these ones sell roughly like $1 million, $1.1 million, depending on how many renovations they've done inside. This is quintessential Byron, if you ask me. It's incredibly safe. You're not gonna have any trouble in this area. You're right near Boulder Mountain right here, which is like the local ski hill. It's kind of boring for adults if I'm honest with you, but it's great for kids. They love it. Oh, they also have tubing. Forgot about that. And in the summer, they got like mountain biking and stuff. So that's really cool to have nearby. And then, of course, the schools are really good in this area. Now, you see this little pathway here? On the other side of this pathway is a newer build area. So this is Wickerson Heights, this area, okay? Some of the stuff in the northern part, maybe inching up on 20, 25 years old now. But down here, you get stuff that's 5 to 10 years old off Ironwood, Brunson Way, around here. Really, you're going to be between like maybe 2,300 square feet on the lowest end up to like 3,000 square feet in this area. Most of them are going to be right in the middle of that, okay? And they're going to sell anywhere from $1 million to 1.1, maybe 1.2 if they're really nice. Maybe I'll put one or two up on the screen here that have sold. Again, I got to do all that later in the editing, but I think you'll agree that these are really nice homes, and this is another great option for you. They are also currently going to, I believe, Byron, Somerset, temporarily. They might end up going to the Riverbend School. I'm still not entirely clear on that. The school board, they don't love just giving information out for some reason when you call them. I don't know. Okay, last part of this little box here, okay? You ready for this? This down here is in the there's a name for this neighborhood. I forget what it is. I call it the Optimist Park neighborhood. You know why? Because it's right by Optimist Park. Yeah, not a bad spot to live, if you ask me. So this is Southdale right here, and it's gonna take you 2 minutes to get to No Frills. Right down here, dollar store, a couple restaurants, a couple banks. That's nice. And then if you want to go all the way to Home Depot, maybe you're 5 minutes away. And if you want to go all the way to White Oaks Mall down here, which we'll talk about later, it's one of London's biggest malls. What are you, 15 minutes away? I mean, I think it's a pretty good spot to live right down here at the corner of Bowler Road and Southdale, okay? I'm going to street view some of these for you here so you can get an idea of what they look like here. So these are probably inching up on 20 years old now, a lot of these. A lot of them are going to be 2,200 square feet. And I've seen some of these sell in like the 800s. If that's your budget and you want to be in a great school district and a safe area and close to everything, this is an area I would highly recommend. There are some large ones. So this one here is currently for sale, so I can throw it up here. They're asking $1 million for it, but it's much bigger than the other ones I just showed you in the street view. Like this is 2,600 square feet of space. So, and of course, Optimist Park. Can't believe I didn't really talk about that yet. This is pretty cool. They got baseball diamonds, soccer fields, and it's all walking distance away for all your kids in this area. So, I mean, that's a nice little park to have nearby. If your kids are in soccer and stuff, like, you can walk to their game, which is kind of nice, okay? Now, over on this side, so between Bowler and Colonel Talbot, up in the northern part of this, it's going to be similar to what I explained was on Griffith Road and around there, but maybe a bit more 2 stories, okay? They're really nice homes. Like a really nice 2-story that's 30 to 40 years old in this area is going to go $1 million or just over, but you can get a lot of stuff for $800,000 and $900,000 right in this area, and this is the best school district in Byron. It's usually an 8 out of 10, okay? Now, you have Somerset Woods, and then below that, you've got large homes. So Old Oak Lane, this is the one I told you has a bunch of mansions, okay? They are massive, and you can see from some of this drone footage just how big they are. It's one of those streets that you drive down and you can't even see the homes because there's gates and there's, large trees. It's a really cool area. Just below that on Cherry Grove, also very rich, but a lot newer. These homes are old up here. Down here, they're all very new, and you can see again from some of this footage just how large and how big they are. $2 million is a given in this area, okay? It doesn't matter the market. It's gonna be a lot, all right? The only other thing I should tell you about is, again, more very expensive homes on Princeton. These are all brand new. So Manhattan and Princeton, they're just building them now. You're getting 1.6 a lot of the time for some of these, 1.5. Let's go to this guy right over here. Street view doesn't work. You can see it. They're large homes and they're absolutely they're beautiful. Again, they kind of go all luxury, but they're that new modern style where it's a lot of hard surfaces, clean edges, but they have what they have in some of them? They got like the butler's pantry where there's a whole second kitchen behind the kitchen where you can cook with your spices and stuff, and you can put your air fryer and it's not gonna be in the way. They're really nice, okay? From here, we're gonna go a little further south, okay? So from here, down below that grocery store there and the bank and all that, the Food Basics, you get to Talbot right here. If you watch that video I did, where I was walking around exploring London streets, I started that video in Talbot. So you see Settlement Trail here. So this is a circular street, and in the center of this is this wonderful park. Okay, so they got this big pond. They got a lot of trees. There's a lot of mallards and stuff and wildflowers all around there. It's really cool to have this nearby. And there's walking trails that can take you all through the neighborhood. So that's really cool.
Settlement Trail will have some of the oldest homes in the area. So Settlement Trail, and then up here, I believe around here, these are all pretty old as well. It's still new. It's like 20 years old. They're not old, right? And I think those will be the smallest as well. Now, when you get back here into this section, this is the new part. So new, in fact, that they've also just completed a brand new school right here. In fact, at the date of recording, the school's been open for like a week total. Okay, it's the first year, and it's not even on the Google map yet. And it's right here. It's called White Pine Elementary School, and it's huge. It's gonna hold like 800 kids, okay? And it's walking distance from all these homes. Now, these ones are bigger. Like if we do a street view little droppy drop here, you can see that these are pretty standard for the area. These are not the biggest that you're seeing on the screen. And these are probably all about 2,900 square feet, and it just goes up from there. You can find sales in here anywhere from 1.1 to 2 million, okay? 2 million is kind of rare in here. There's only a couple that are really that big to demand that much, but most of them are gonna be 1.2, 1.3, kind of in that range. This is a good example. So this I would call like the standard home in this area. It's 5 or so years old. It sold a little over $1.2 million, and it was about 2,800 square feet. So that's a lot of space for a family. To me, I think that's ideal for a family of 4 or 5. Everyone's got their own bedroom. There's like 4 washrooms in the place, and then you got a basement on top of that. Like the ideal size, and that's going for a little over 1.2 right now. And then this one here, so this is more money. This is inching up on 1.5, and it's actually a few hundred square feet smaller. So, and this is where just like the age of the build and how luxury they built it, all the upgrades they did when building comes in. I mean, look at the backyard. They've built this into a little backyard oasis, which is really nice. And just on the interior, they did all the upgrades from the builder, and it's a beautiful home. And that sold closer to 1.5. So that gives you a good idea of the range, I think, in that neighborhood. Here's a quick note that you should know as well. So if you're on Pack Road here, you look across the street, what you see is corn. Corn and soybeans. This will all be homes eventually. I don't know when. It's in the works though. Without a question, this will all be homes, and they will all be going to that school as well. That's why it's built to hold 800 students. And they're all gonna be crowding up these roads around here as well. So just FYI, it's not always gonna be surrounded by cornfields. They're building like crazy in this area, okay? If you want to get to the 401, it's right here. Okay, so I mean, you're not far from this area. If you're somebody who's going to be hopping on the highway to go back to the GTA or wherever you're going, this is a good spot, okay? Now, across the street from Talbot Road, you get Silver Creek area, okay? Now, this area is also like 5 to 7 years old, and it was built to be even more luxury. You do get a lot more homes in this area that are $2 million. With the market down the way it is, I think you're seeing a lot more of them sell for 1.5, 6, 7, 8. That's not uncommon, but I think this is probably more like the average. If you're not looking for the biggest in the area or the smallest, this is probably the average. This sold around $1.4 million. It's got a huge kitchen with a huge walk-in pantry, and I think they did a wonderful job. It's a beautiful home, guys, and it's 3,500 square feet, so this is big, okay? 3,500 square feet above grade is a very large home. So that's kind of what you get in this Silver Creek area. I don't know if you'll care. Bus service, I don't think bus service comes out to this area yet, but honestly, if you're spending $1.45 million on a house, I bet you have a car. So I don't think it'd bother you too much. In behind that, you get Clayton Walk. These are nice too. These, you know what? I think this area is great bang for your buck. I actually really like these homes. So the 2-story ones in the area, like if they're renovated and really nice, I mean, they're going for 1.2 or less. And I think that's a great deal. They're like probably 35, 40 years old at this point. Some of them, maybe that's high. No, just checked. Like we're talking 1988 build for a lot of these, okay? So I was spot on. But yeah, they're gorgeous on the inside, and I love the layout of homes in that area. Like those ones in Silver Creek I showed you, like you're gonna get like one giant room. Kitchen, dining room, living room, right? Because that's how they build new ones. But these ones are built to have a formal dining room And they have, you know, a formal living room and a den. They've got it all, and I think they're done really well. I'm gonna put one up on the screen that I really like and flip through the photos there. I've already been yapping and showing it to you, but I just think these homes are really good bang for your buck. I think they're in a great area as well. Close to the highway, very safe, often forgot about by the rest of London, and a pretty good price for what you're getting. Okay, so now we're gonna move a little bit south into Lambeth. So Lambeth it used to be its own city. It's this section right here, okay? So London's growing, man. Like it used to stop kind of at Southdale here, and now Lambeth was its own city, and now it's all gonna be filled in. So you see the farm fields, we talked about this earlier, these farm fields, gonna be homes and a couple condos. Down here, all this, it's all gonna be houses. They're building this out, okay? And you can see here, now that I'm on the satellite view, some of these are empty, some of these streets aren't paved yet. These are all new builds, okay? I actually sold one this year on Big Leaf Trail around here. These actually, I was impressed with these new builds, what they come as standard features now in a lot of these new homes. So if your budget is under $1 million and you want a brand new home and you want to live in a great neighborhood and you want a good school district, I think this might be a great spot for you. This might be the best bang for your buck. Down here, the new section off of Campbell in Lambeth, okay? So these homes, they come on the upstairs. If I remember correctly, every bedroom had an ensuite washroom. And they're selling for, which is cool. You don't get that in the older homes at all, right? I mean, some old homes, you don't even get an ensuite in the master. But that comes standard in these, which is really cool. And of course, you get the whole new kitchen. It's nice and shiny. You get huge windows and oversized sliding patio doors in a lot of these. They're really cool. The downside is, the same downside with every new build these days, is it's a small lot. So you're tight in on your neighbor here. You see how close the neighbors are? These are 35-foot wide lots by 105, I think most of them are, 105 feet deep. So they're narrow and they're long, but they're new. Everything's shiny and new. You get all the modern, like you can renovate, but you can't add extra, if there's no space to add extra washrooms and en-suites, you can't do that. These come with it. So I see these a lot of the time sell for $990, for $950, $980, kind of in that price range. There are also some townhomes in along here somewhere as well, I think right here. And yeah, so this is a good option if that's your budget. And like I said, it's a pretty good school district. So you have Lambeth Public School right here. No, right here. Lambeth Public School. This school always performs really well. I think it's like an 8 out of 10 still, again, from the Fraser Institute. So this is based on province-wide testing. So really good option. It's a really good area. If you need help figuring out what area is best for you, maybe this is it, maybe it's not, feel free to give me a call and we can just talk about your goals, okay? This is what I do for a living. Every day in and day out, I eat, sleep, and breathe real estate in southwestern Ontario and especially London, okay? So this is my phone number right here. I like helping people, okay? So just shoot me a text sometime and tell me about your goals and how I can help you achieve those goals, okay? Now let's move down here. This is the main part of Lambeth, right here. Now, it's very different on Broadway, David, and Mariana compared to Scottsdale and Outer Drive and stuff down here. So we'll start with David, okay? I'm gonna drop a pin onto David, and I'm just gonna scoot around here so you can kind of get a feel for what the homes are. You get a good size, like this is a bigger lot than those 2 stories, okay? So I don't know if it really comes through on the street view, but these are gonna be 50-foot wide lots. And they're gonna be 120 feet deep, a lot of them, I'm willing to bet. They're little ranches, they're great starter homes. And right now, they're selling between, I don't know, maybe 520, like 650 is most of them, kind of in that range. If it's down on the 520 range, I mean, these are 1960s built. Maybe it needs some updating. If it's up higher, you know, you're in the 600s, some of it's gonna be renovated and gonna be nice. I mean, it's funny, right? If you pick up these houses and you put them in the Toronto area, I think you get a worse quality of life and you pay way more money for them.
You know what I mean? Like this here would be 750 in the GTA. And that's the outskirts of the GTA. But here, you can probably pick that up in the 600s. And then the other thing, like I was saying with the lot too, is like, remember those 2 stories? You were right there. So like if this was the end of your house, your neighbor would start right where the garage is. Like they're really close. But here you get a bit of separation. So you feel like, you know, like you're not right on somebody. I really like that about these homes. So if we come back out and now go down here to Scottsdale and Outer Drive, this is luxury. These were built at the time, which is like the 80s, to be massive, beautiful homes. And there's a golf course right here, and some of them actually back onto the golf course on Kirk Drive here. So these get pretty big, they get pretty pricey. For the 2 stories, it's not uncommon to see, you know, 3,500 square feet. And look how set back they are from the curb. They got a lot of land with these, and these are big homes. I think I have some kind of mediocre drone footage from like a winter time. Maybe I can put some of those up for you. And maybe that'll give you an idea of how big they are. The prices have come down a lot. Like I saw one not that long ago sell for a little over $1 million in this area. And it's, again, it's like a 1980s home. It was a little out of date, but totally livable. It was a little over $1 million, which is a surprise to me. Don't expect that every time. Some of them sell for 1.3, 1.4. I've seen some of the larger ones that are really renovated sell for like $2 million. Like if you look at the street view, some of these are just like 5,000 square feet, right? And this is all their land up back here. So that's a lot. So that's a really nice area to live. And the other thing, by the way, 401's right here. So if you live here in Lambeth, you're 3 minutes to the 401. So if you're somebody that needs to use the highway a lot, that's a great spot for you as well. All right, let's talk Botswick, okay? So between number 4 here, which is Wonderland and White Oaks Road and Southdale and Exeter. So this big box right here, there's 3 little clusters of developments, okay? Now this is very important. One of these clusters is in a good school district starting 2 weeks ago. The other ones are in a not so great school district, okay? So let's have a little chat about this. So first off, down here, the bottom cluster down here, you're gonna get pretty new homes. Like we're talking a couple years old, a lot of them, and they're gonna sell for under $800,000 or right around the $800,000 mark, which is pretty good. I mean, let me see if I can street view here. Perfect. Perfect. So this is from 2022, the street view shots, and this is what you're getting here. So you're getting homes that have a 1-car garage. They're maybe 1,800 square feet. Like they're not massive, and they're gonna have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms in here. Okay, so these right now, I'm seeing them sell for like $700,000, and they're pretty new, which is not bad for a new home. Now, there are on some of the other streets like 2-car garages, a little bit bigger. They're gonna sell kind of more towards 800. Some of them, even if they're, I think there's some bigger ones in here too that sell like 850. But that's sort of the price range in here. You can get them pretty cheap. And this over here is also very similar on Paul Peel. Okay, we get 2-car garages. They're like 2,000 square feet, and there's similar pricing there as well. Both of these school districts are, I believe it's Nicholas Wilson, which is in White Oaks over here. Not great school. They call it a holding school right now, meaning, hey, we're gonna find a place for you to go somewhere else. We're gonna build you a school, but I don't have any extra details on that so far. They're still going to Nicholas Wilson, which has a very low rating from the Fraser Institute. However, this area right here, so between Warncliffe and this little triangle here, this area, they are now going to the new White Pine Elementary School, which was just built over here in Talbot, right there, okay? So they're going over here. That's going to be a much better school. Obviously, it opened 2 weeks ago. There's no
ratings for it yet, but it's in a more affluent area and should be pretty good. This little area, it's a little bit more money. Now you're talking mostly in the 800s, 800, 850. There are some bigger ones that might go in the 9s, but this is a pretty good spot to live here. The oldest you're gonna find in this section is like 2013 built. And you're going to a better school district. Also, look what's right nearby. Right around the corner from you is a commercial area. You got Home Depot, you got Staples, Canadian Tire, Loblaws, Marshalls, there's a HomeSense, Winners, like everything you need for the most part's right there. And then White Oaks Mall's around the corner as well. So, and of course, like I've already said, look, 401 is right here. So if you've got 850 grand and you want a detached 2-story with a 2-car garage, this is a good spot. Good school district, close to highway, close to all major amenities. This top triangle in Botswick. All right, so I skipped over Westmount. Let's talk Westmount for a minute, if you don't mind. So Westmount is right here. It's this big box. You got Commissioners Road. Actually, this section is included in Westmount as well, but it's a bit different. So we'll call it Springbank all the way down to Southdale from Colonel Talbot. And then I would put the end of this part of Westmount, I'd say a Wonderland. Some people extend it beyond, but you get into a different school district over here. It's similar age and style, but in a worse school district, okay? So I'll first just talk about this. So Westmount has a lot of homes that are bi-levels and 2 stories that were built in the 70s and the 80s. So this is the type of place where you can get a 1970s 2-story home, maybe 2,200 square feet, attached garage, 850, kind of in that range, in the 800s. So if I just drop a pin on a map again and I kind of scroll through this with you, like this is the kind of thing you're seeing. This is what they built back then. Attached 2-car garage, stacked 2-story home. You're going to be 2,300 square feet. Just being that it's from the 70s, like it's going to not be like shiny and new like these new builds. Like maybe the kitchen doesn't have granite countertops. Maybe the cupboards are a bit old. Maybe the flooring is a little bit out of style. They're still livable. They're still nice family homes, but they're just not all going to be super updated, brand new. What do you think of this street? When you look at this street, does this look like a place that you would want to live? To me, I say yes. I think it's a nice house in a nice area. The school district is 100% average, okay? So year after year, so Westmount Public Schools located right around here, okay? And Westmount Public School right there. It's a 6 out of 10, which the Fraser Institute will tell you every single time that is the average price, the average rating for Ontario. So it's not like excelling beyond, and it's not crap. It's just an average school, which I don't think you can complain about. I know there's people watching this going like, no, I want the best of the best. I get it, but I don't think you're gonna have any problems going to Westmount, okay? If you see here, Cranbrook, once you get down to this Tillman here that connects to Southdale, this side of it is all new homes, and this is actually quite expensive. So this Cranbrook and up Longsworth here, this completely changes. It's different than the rest of Westmount. Now you're getting large 2 stories that are maybe 5, 6, 7 years old at this point, and they're 28, 29, 3,000 square feet. And I mean, it's been a while since one sold. They were getting 1.4 for these back in like 2022. The price again has come down, but I mean, I just double checked. There's literally 0 that have sold in the last little while. So I can't give you a recent price, but you're gonna factor in whether the basement is finished and just the square footage as well into the price of these. Down here around Dalhousie in the little corner down here in Westmount, so you do get some cheaper stuff down here. It certainly doesn't have the curb appeal. Some of them are little townhome condos, but you can pick these up for $450, $550, kind of in that range. The other thing to tell you about is north of Commissioners here. So this is a very special neighborhood. So between Springbank and Commissioners, you get these luxury lots, okay? So if I go down Dawson or Woods Edge Close, you get massive homes built on massive streets, okay? Massive lots, rather, I should say. So most homes in this area have a 150-foot wide lot, maybe by 150 deep. So a nice big square there. And you're gonna get homes that are 3,500 square feet with a finished basement, and it's just built to be a little bit more luxury than everyone else. And there's a forest back here too, and there's a lot of trees, so it really feels kind of private in this area. I mean, look at this one. This one's absolutely massive. This is 5,000 square foot home. You come down here. These are beautiful, older, but not too old, large brick 2-story homes. These ones here can sell $2 million. There are cheaper ones in the area. So this street's a bit newer. I think you're more 70s, 80s back here if you go to Westmount Hills and stuff like that. I mean, that's a huge house too, actually. That's massive. But then on this side, right, not quite as big. So the prices do vary. I have seen some in this area sell recently on the smaller end. 790, 800, 850, but it's also not uncommon to see $2 million around here. So it's a very unique neighborhood. And they all have huge lots. So you're talking every single one of them, you're more than 100 feet wide, which is really hard to find. And of course, like just down the road, you have Springbank Park. Did I mention Springbank Park before? This is London's biggest park in Byron and close to this Westmount Hills area. There's walking paths and biking paths through there. They have Storybook Gardens in there, which is like a little amusement park for toddlers and kids, which is really cool. It's a huge park. It's like 8 kilometers long, so you can do a lot of running and walking in there, and it's absolutely beautiful in the fall. Okay, they've also got little things where you can have cook over fire in the park and have big family get-togethers in the park. I see it all the time. This is a beautiful park, okay? And it's nice to have that right nearby. Okay, so first video, I covered all up here in the north above the river. Second video, I've done Riverbend, Byron. We're coming down here. We did Botswick. Let's keep it moving, man. We're doing all of London. This is exhausting. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, so this section here, Westmount on the other side of Wonderland, it's fairly similar. You do get some homes built in the 2000s, some of the newer ones, and you do get a lot of 60s, 70s. It's not bad, except for the school district, okay? That's really the only problem. Like if I drop a pin here, Pine Valley, Deer Valley, Crescent, I actually don't mind these homes at all. Like I think these are absolutely fine homes in a fine street, and I think it's safe. I think it's a nice area to live, and I think these will probably sell a bit cheaper. I mean, these are 23, 24, 2,500 square foot 2-stories that you can get in the 800s, 850, you know what I mean, for something like this. That's more house for your money than you're going to get in a lot of other places. And literally my only thing I don't like about this neighborhood is the school district, okay? So W. Sherwood Fox is the elementary school for this area. I told you before that the Ontario average is 6 out of 10 for the Fraser Institute. This is based on province-wide testing. Sherwood Fox right now is a 4.5. It's usually a little below average. I have no more insight than that. Like I don't know why it's lower. Maybe part of the school district just pulls from one little rough area that kind of brings down the average. I don't know, but that's just something to consider before you move to the area. They don't all look the same either. Like they're not all that size. Some of them are a bit older and a bit smaller, and you can pick them up in the $600,000 and $700,000 range, okay? So they're not all gonna be the exact same price. You might pick up that for $725, $750, it all depends. But yeah, so you get in there a bit cheaper, but the school districts are a bit different, so that's a decent part of Westmount, okay? All right, so moving on up. This is Southcrest. This big box right here, Springbank down to Commissioners, Wonderland to Warncliffe. Now here's the thing about this area, okay? You can get for $520,000 a nice brick bungalow on a nice lot in a nice little neighborhood, and it's gonna be all nice, except again, the school district. I don't know why, but I just checked. The school district in this area, Woodland Heights, has like a 1.5 rating out of 10. I don't know why it does so bad. Maybe if you're a local and you're watching this, you're probably not, but you can comment down below. But in this area, the school district just doesn't do that good. But again, if I drop a pin on Beechwood here, like you get these it looks a lot like Byron here, which I mentioned earlier. You get these little brick ranches, which are a great starter home. And you can see that people they're not falling apart. People take care of their homes in the area. They mow the lawns. They put up Christmas decorations. It's a nice little area, to be honest with you, but the school just doesn't do very well. But these are selling in the low 500s right now. There are some like 2 stories and bi-levels in the area, but the vast majority of Southcrest does have these little ranches, which I actually quite like the style of home that they are. So that's an option for you as well, okay? Okay, let's move on over to where you see the words Wortley, okay? So Wortley Village is in Old South. So let me make sure I explain this right. Downtown's right here. Then you've got the river, you got this park, and you got this major roadway. From here down to Commissioners, from Warncliffe over to Wellington, this is all Old South, okay? Some of these homes are 150 years old. This is an old part of town. Now, Wortley Village, the lines aren't clearly drawn, but it's essentially everything a few blocks around Wortley Road. So personally, I would put it from right out to Wortley, and then even, for the most part, I mean, right over to Warncliffe right here. This is considered the nicest part of this area. You get historic homes that have been well taken care of, that have been renovated, and have like this old world charm, but are updated. And then it's like this really cool community feel in Wortley because the YMCA right here is this old like 1899 built giant teachers college. And then there's this big green area right here. Let me go to so this area right here. This place has a whole ton of community events. Like at Halloween, every year at Halloween, they got like a big Halloween parade down Wortley Road, and then they got face painting, they got live music, they got food trucks out. Everyone dresses up, the old people, the young people, the kids, and they all come out and they have like a huge get-together all day long in the park. It's really cool. And this building, the YMCA, is really cool to just have that in the background because it's like this like old style, almost castle-looking building there. And a lot of the homes are like that too. So Wortley Road is right here, right? If I go over to Byron and Askin and all these homes up here, these are the ones that are like really older and historic. And like this is actually pretty big. It's bigger than what I thought I was going to show you right off the hop. There's a wide price range in this area, but this is a 100-year-old home that's probably been renovated and it's really nice inside, okay? This is more what you find. This is what I thought I was going to show you when I clicked down. You get this a lot. So it's a bit smaller, completely brick, tan brick. And this home is probably, I'm going to say 130 years old. And they're kind of beautiful, okay? So I'm going to put one up on the screen that's sold recently. So see, this is the exact same style of home. And then on the inside, like this is like, it's very old, but it's also very new. It's been renovated. Really charming home. You're not gonna get this in a new neighborhood that's recently built. Very cool home. And this sold, this is one of the more expensive ones, for $700 and I think it was $15,000, okay? So it's a bit more money. You can get the same thing for like $525 if it's not quite to that level of updated. And you do find that a lot. Some of them need updating. I mean, so a lot of people don't care. You know what I mean? It's not like unlivable or anything crazy, but some of them just aren't updated to that degree. So here's another one. This is a good example too, because this is built in 1893. Okay, so you're not even in the 1900s yet, and I think it's still nice inside. This sold for $600. It's a little smaller than the other one, even though it doesn't look like it from the curb. It's got one less bedroom, a bit smaller, but I mean, it's a beautiful home, and that sold for $600,000.
And it's got 1893 vibe to it. You know what I mean? I like it. So that's what you're getting in Old South, or actually in Wortley specifically. You can, if you go down further down here, kind of away from the main Wortley area, because this, by the way, this is the main Wortley Road Street. Sweet Onion Bistro, awesome place to grab some meals. They often have live music in the evenings. Old South Village Pub, there's an amazing sushi restaurant in here. A lot of really nice restaurants right there. If you get further away from that down here, they get a bit cheaper. It changes a bit. And same with over in this kind of section, like Emery and all this, you can pick up homes for $500,000 a lot of the time, all up around here. And they'll be smaller, some of them, but I think they're nice homes, to be honest with you. You're going to get 2 bedrooms, you're going to get 3-bedroom homes, you're going to get 1.5 bathrooms, some of them will have 2, but they're not going to be massive, okay? You're going to be under 2,000 square feet. And you're going to get these homes around the 500 mark. So that's what you get there. If that's your budget, if your budget is like high 4s, low 5s, I would point you to Old South. I think that's a really good spot for you. All right, so next video, I'm going to pick it up from where it says Cleardale here, the Highland area. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to start working my way back up east, okay? I'm going to leave it where we are here. If you need some help figuring out what area is perfect for you in the London area, I have a lot more videos, and get this, I got a phone number. Yeah, right there. So feel free to reach out if you need some help. I love helping people, and I know this place very, very well, okay? Thanks for watching.